don't think I can stand this music much longer. What's up, Pooh? Boom, boom. Okay, shall we end this? Why did I even bother? Okay, music was awful. I put copyright-free music, and that's what they gave me. Oh, let me turn the lights out here. It's a little too bright. Uno momento. I'm setting the mood. Setting the mood. All right, you guys are ready? You're gonna see this perfect face before you. What's up, my G money? Okay, let's do this thing. Boom. Okay, way too close, but check it out. First off, Pooh, aka DJ Bricks. Hope you and the fam as well. I've been doing my thing, stuck to my word thus far. Staying cleansed. But let's jump right in. There's a few things I was describing this thing at a hearing between a Republican senator and did you guys hear that very familiar sound? Oh, I love this. Maybe it's not meant to be. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to do a quick try. And then I don't know, but this has got to end. Oh, so embarrassing. All right, that's a good sound. That's a bad sound. Good sound. Bad sound. There we go. I see you guys, by the way. I see the camera went out. Bear with me. Sorry. Hey, good evening. I'm doing some tech fixes. One day, we're gonna fix all this. All right, coming back. I know you guys come here for that real time. Whoa, that's not my style. That's gonna have to roll. All right, let me, without further ado, show you this clip. All right, Marsha Blackburn grilling some big chief kahuna with in the FBI on behalf of the FBI. I didn't prepare the screen share, but this is an easy fix. Boom. Yeah, share my audio, please. And there we go. C'est la vie. White Dragon, it is good to see you. I know I've been gone for just a bit. I needed some, mental health time, and I think I've shared quite enough regarding what I've found necessary. And you know what? It has been a healthy journey, and I'm happy to report that. And some of the little extra time I've been able to spend with my family, with my mother, it's meant the world. And I can kind of say with more confidence than I've said in the past when I was freaking out a little bit more that I feel that everybody's doing just a little bit better, and sometimes that's all you can ask for in the grand scheme. This little tiny pebble in a vast, infinite universe. The most we could hope for is that our loved ones are doing okay. So, with that motivation, here's what I was describing during my break. So, I'm very eager to get any feedback. Now, painting a picture. This woman by the name of Marsha Blackburn, yes, I'm at Blaze TV, all credit to where I found the content, originally from C-SPAN. The way she takes it to this FBI guy, she's handling him with kid gloves. All right, we need. I respect her candor. She's being very cordial, professional, and I mean that's what's expected, right? That's why people really hate Donald Trump. He's not always about the candor, right? Well, at this point, I don't think much of us care about that professionalism. We just want to see somebody with passion getting some shit done. So without further ado, though, here, listen in. This is about that famous island.
The last few weeks, I've been demanding some answers on Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and trying to get these flight records. I've offered amendments to a subpoena, trying to get that, and kind of been stonewalled on it. But I think,
and just putting in my fair use words,
having transparency around Jeffrey Epstein's conduct and this massive sex trafficking ring that he built is important. And of course, you've had the chairman, Senator Hirano, Senator Ossoff, all who have mentioned our concerns with what is happening with CSAM, what is happening with sex trafficking. But in light of this, I am looking at.
Just want to point out the effective strategy by the establishment or the mainstream or the status quo, the gatekeepers and the people that ensure things go as they want it to, and having us somehow convinced that it's all business as usual. This is a tactic that I slowly was able to understand by participating in Stuck in the Middle with Josh. The slow drip media is very real. This is something that has many of us frothing with justifiable anger because such monstrosity has occurred to the most vulnerable. And we already know the story. There's so many people that have power and influence. There's companies that we have every right to know because we invest in them. And still to this day, there's a small pocket, not enough if you ask me, of people not letting it go because I think they expect us. Because all too often, what do we do when there's something so important? We're raring to go, jump in the mosh pit, so to speak. And then as time passes, year by year by year, you're just kind of like, yeah, oh, did that fully redacted document get released that shows all the celebrities and politicians and corporations in cahoots with sex trafficking? Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm getting kind of exhausted watching the election and everything they're doing and preventing Trump from being on the ballot. I'm pretty exhausted. Yeah, Epstein, who? That's the strategy, and I'm glad we still have people trying to represent and get that accountability. Now, let's let it ride.
Some of the survivors from the Epstein issues, there are disturbing allegations that the FBI failed to investigate the sex trafficking allegations. And indeed, one survivor says that the FBI, even after she brought forward repeatedly content about his conduct, that the FBI refused to investigate her claims, even though she said the allegations were there on both the sex trafficking and the child sexual abuse material. And I want to know why or what awareness you have of the FBI's failure to investigate these claims. And I want to get you on the record, since numerous survivors have said the FBI.
Gee, it's almost like the FBI doesn't care. I mean, what is it she just said? There hasn't been a follow-up on this investigation. Just listen to this man, as I mentioned before, on how he talks about such a huge, divisive, like smoking gun kind of a case. And just he's like, I haven't really looked into it. It's just
FBI did not show
downplaying
up
it.
to help them. What specifically has the FBI done to investigate the claims that Epstein's and others participated in, produced, possessed, and distributed CSAM?
Well, first, let me say I recall very well that you have a very specific and longstanding interest, not just in child sexual exploitation, but in human trafficking as a cousin of that.
So, anybody else find this a little disturbing? So, FBI guy, director, this is the director of the FBI. He's what, kind of buttering up and like giving some sugar to her, right? Oh, I just want to mention that we here at the FBI respect your resilience and your record of caring about children and wanting to attack sex trafficking at every level. How about your record speak for itself? Show us some results, give us the answers, and get all of those redactions out of the way. We're an American people. We are a people that are already full of distrust. We are disenfranchised. The system has failed us. Somebody needs to convince us otherwise. This could be a huge win for you in the PR game, in politics. Show us why we should have faith in any of these institutions that rely on our tax dollars. Please. Instead, we got this guy.
And we appreciate your focus on it and your support of the importance of that part of our mission. As to the Epstein case specifically, I will tell you it's been a while since I looked at that case. Obviously, we worked together with prosecutors.
Super chats and all that, never ever necessary. I thank you nonetheless, though, massively.
To bring charges before he.
I realize that.
Yeah.
but what we need from you is a complete investigation of why the FBI did not take
Why are we still asking for the same thing? It hasn't changed from day one when it first dropped. We're still asking for the bare minimum.
this up, and then getting to the bottom of what is appearing to be an enormous sex trafficking ring and listening to these survivors, and as I said, I've tried to get a subpoena on the flight logs, which I think is important to this. I think people need to know who was on those planes and how often
Oh, my!
they
my
were on
camera
those
knows.
planes. I think people who invest in companies would want to know if there are people from their C-suite. And as
You hear that? I would love to know if any huge company CEOs were there and were unknowingly, we were unknowingly funding, some of the sick, absolutely deplorable actions and trips somehow, some way. I would love to know. Pull their sponsors, demonetize them in every shape or form that we can. I don't want to put my money towards these individuals. Drain the swamp. It's not antiquated. It's not. It's something that still means something.
we go through this, should those logs be made public? They've been heavily redacted.
Well, as I said, it's been a while since I looked at the specific case. I can tell you that we've been increasing year over year, both the number of agents focused on these kinds of cases, the number of
Well, we need
victims
to
we've
look at
rescued.
this,
And
yes.
and so onto the specific case, let me offer to have let me get with my team and figure out if there's more information we can provide to you.
That would be great. We have never, even through the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, we never got to the bottom of this. And we have these survivors who say, oh, there is so much more. They swept it under the rug, and that is wrong. And you need to right that wrong.
I just took a mood aroused.
If anybody is
I just took a
in the
mood
chat,
bedtime
like,
gummy.
starting
No,
anything
how long
up,
does it
first
take to
off,
get?
thanks to the mods for making sure everything goes as smooth as possible. Do you agree that the previous ad is right? No. But bear in mind, it's just children. They come out to play. They just want to be on the monkey bars. I don't know. They're, the time away, it's given me the same lesson. Words on the internet and people that just won't like me. It's not gonna, it can't bother me anymore. That is the conclusion. That's what the clarity and the time off has helped me fully understand. And I'll just walk the walk.
About some of the disturbing allegations that have come out of Special Counsel Jack Smith's political
Maxwell.
crusade against President Trump. And we've seen a heavily redacted search warrant. Here you go with the first page. Here you've got a page that's in print, another in print.
The Democrats were able to get a search warrant, a pretty damn illegal one. Correct me if I'm wrong, for, Mar-a-Lago, right? But when it comes to such a severe topic issue that's so sensitive and heartbreaking, we have just all of this privacy and we just can't get to it. Like, it's amazing, this backward Twilight Zone double standard. It's what should make every American sick to the pit of their stomach.
Another in print. Attachment B, in print, all about the subject account. Page 3 that I'm going to come back to in a minute, and then look at the rest. Redactions,
Big black sheets. My
redacted,
God.
fully redacted,
I
fully redacted,
didn't see that before.
fully redacted, there and there.
Those are pieces of paper with nothing but black ink from top to bottom. Oh my God. I didn't even think it was that ridiculous. Like, why even bother? That's apparently an attempt to. I mean, there's so obviously there's no transparency from the people that we want it from the most, and having page after page after page completely blotted and blacked out. That's comical. That was like a cartoon.
So that's very helpful. When things are so heavily redacted, you can't get to the information. Now, Tennesseans are very concerned about two tiers of justice and weaponizing of the government. But what we see from this search warrant, and here it is on page, let me go to page 2 first. That gives you what they're getting from the subject account, which is Trump's account. You're going to see that on page 1 and page 2, and the information that is there. They're wanting to get at his Twitter account everybody that had access to it and all the informations. Well, then when you go to page 3, they are going to subpoena all data and information that is associated with this, and anybody that reposted information on this that favorited or retweeted post by the account, as well as all tweets that include the username associated, all synced, all contacts, and this covers October 2020 to January 2021. Are you aware of this?
I've seen some of the media reporting about it, but obviously this is a matter
You
that's being
agree
led
with
by
this?
this. Well, again, this is an ongoing investigation being led by a special counsel, and there are
I can't believe this is the kind of shit that we're hearing at this late in the game. This FBI director, this is what he's saying. He's giving us excuses. Are they really like everybody's just counting on us to somehow not care about this? Is he like trying to paint a picture that it's almost irrelevant? I mean, so much time has gone by, and there's so many other things we're trying to do. We're trying to find a Democrat to coronate for the next election and bump off somebody who has every fucking right to run.
all kinds of court restrictions that apply.
Somebody approved a search warrant for everybody that was retweeting or reposting from the Ayatollah's account. Have they gone to his account prior to October 7th and looked at that? This is such an invasion of free speech. And as we talk with you about social media and what is going on with social media, we're concerned about this. You know, if I liked a tweet from President Trump, if anybody on this side of the dais retweeted a tweet from President Trump, according to this, Jack Smith could go pull everything affiliated with our Twitter account.
It's like a hugely perverse Freedom of Information Act kind of move. This is political targeting of American citizens or public servants. If you show support to this person or that party, it is now fully okay, somehow within the realm of the law and our Constitution, for you to be targeted for showing support, for liking something. This is childish. This is insane.
If anything that came from that real Donald Trump showed up in our feed, do you think that this is an infringement of my free speech?
Well, let me say this. I certainly understand the concern.
Big fluff bullshit answer. I understand what you're saying. Can you be any more insulting? Why? See, if she was a little bit tougher like some of the others, sometimes they're like, that's a yes or a no. Please leave your fluff at the door.
But what I would tell you,
hope so.
but what I would tell you is that this investigation being led by the special counsel. It's not appropriate for me to comment on that ongoing investigation. It's also under the supervision of a court, which
handled it.
Ongoing
includes the search warrant.
investigation is code word for we are stonewalling, and we hear this
I'm glad that she said that. I didn't hear this far.
from you all repeatedly, and it's really quite frustrating.
No, ma'am, and I understand why it's frustrating, but that policy about not commenting on ongoing investigations is one that goes back decades. Republican and Democratic administrations. It's not something
These
that's just invented.
investigations are not coming to completion. Thank you, Ms.
Senator Blackburn, before you leave, I want to make a point for the record, since I understand you made some statements about the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs. There's a Fox reporter in the hallway who asked me about this, and I said I had not spoken to you one time about this issue. I think you'll back me up on that. I'm not mistaken. I didn't know that this was even a subject of your amendments, which, if you'll recall, you were the first on the list until the 2-hour rule was invoked. I don't know anything about this request on your part. I'll be happy to discuss it with you. But I haven't done any discussion with you to this point, correct?
Mr. Chairman, I know, and I think you're fully aware that I had 2 amendments,
I
one
wasn't.
dealing with Epstein and Sotomayor. I brought it up previously.
You
We
did.
have such an issue in this nation.
Was that some? I don't understand the proceedings entirely. I'm a layman. Was that him being nice and but kind of chastising her for not leading like the point of order and explaining what she was going to lead with or whatever? We shouldn't have to explain ourselves. I get it. There's decorum and policy, but nobody should back down from bringing this to the light. It's been sitting in the dark way too long.
With the sex trafficking, human trafficking rings that have proliferated across this country, and it is damaging the lives of women and girls. We have got to step up and help them getting to the bottom of what happened.
I get it, and she's going to explain her point. You know what? This is a great segue. Okay, this is what do we got? Don't redact speech here. Respect to everybody doing what they do. We good. We good. What's up? Okay. All right. Look, I want to show you guys something I found this on Facebook, and I did everything I can tonight to find it. This is actually, I'm going to say, dedicated to all the parents out there, okay? We live in a new world, a new generation. Matter of fact, just yesterday, I was watching Dr. Phil and all these influencers, these young influencers, they're becoming a menace to their neighborhoods, a menace to society. They're bullying and harassing people at their jobs or their neighbors, all for, their clout, their clicks, and their monetization. And then some of them actually get wealthy because they just don't know when to stop. They're still too young to be persecuted under the law. And just the toxicity that the internet can produce, it's palatable and alarming. This right here showcases some of the things that I've tried to talk about, but this woman by the name of Jamie French, she does it perfectly. Let me open this up. Continue watching while you browse.
More
Right.
bullying and
This is important. This is an important educational message. Check it out.
harassment on TikTok lives than I ever have on any platform of social media. The zero safeguards in place for children who are the primary users of this app. So when the pandemic hit,
TikTok is an app that kids use. So please be so careful. If you are just blindly entrusting a child using that app, this is going to show you some tame examples, but what they imply goes so much further.
much like everybody else, went down the TikTok rabbit hole. You hit the little live icon in the top left of the screen, and then TikTok gives you video after video after video of people who are live at that very moment. Fun, wholesome stuff. People dancing, rapping, singing. There's a ton of preachers on there.
God sent you here, glory to God. Yes, sir.
And then it stopped ruling and became very, very disturbing.
So your mom has no problem with grown men asking you to unzip your top?
Children go live just like that constantly. The comments she was getting from grown adult men were literally shocking to me. I've been watching a grown adult live on TikTok. A little kid starts commenting.
Let me join it. Good girl. Okay, you can join. I'm gonna put you in your place too.
Are you though? Because it's a child. The stuff that I'm showing is mild. These odd interactions between adults and children are occurring.
So the dangerous question, especially in a country like ours, is how do you begin to attack this kind of a problem? All right. Without really infringing on any rights. Do we hold the platforms much more accountable? Do we pivot to individual accountability? She's going to show plenty of examples where that fails tenfold on every account.
In real time for an audience. This generation of children, they are on TikTok. And then there's the other argument, which is it's the parent's responsibility.
I'm gonna vouch for Base Girl. She does not delete. She didn't delete any of your stuff. Keep the peels. You have my word on that. Okay. I saw there was one person, and it's somebody we've never seen before. I see all the notifications.
To like shield these kids from this stuff. Yes, correct. But when the parents don't care, the app should.
Yeah, I watch it. Don't worry. She ain't unduping nothing.
When the parents don't care, the app should. At the very least, we should be able to report these people, right? Because this is bullying, this is harassment. Some of these cases, it was straight up. So in both of these
You know what word she just used? Play-Doh.
situations, I attempted to report the people who were saying stuff like this, and I'm going to show you the response I got. We received your report. Thank you for helping us keep TikTok safe. You'll get a notification when we review your report. 5 seconds later, I got a notification that said we didn't find any violations. We found that the reported content doesn't violate our community guidelines. We understand that you may not want to see this type of content, and you have the option to block this account. So not only is there a huge problem here because the app didn't recognize that it was literally against their community guidelines because it was bullying and harassment, they can't even tell the difference between a comment and content. I was reporting somebody's comment, and I got told this content doesn't violate our community guidelines. They have this community guidelines little disclaimer that occurs right before you start watching anybody's live video. Welcome to TikTok Live. Have fun interacting with others in real time and remember to follow our community guidelines. Well, what are your community guidelines, TikTok? Because I just saw grown men live streaming from prison and inviting literal children to join their live. Before I made this video,
That's a popular thing, apparently, by the way. People that have smuggled a cell phone into jail, prison, they love going live. And TikTok being what it is, accessible to freaking everybody, including the kids. Some of them think it's amazingly cool, and some of the younger girls think it's so, this is so dangerous, and then they end up exchanging information so that they could start writing or putting money on their commissary.
I asked a few people's opinions and I showed them what I was going to talk about. One person said, I don't know if that's really prison. I don't see this, and this.
By Dragon, facts, my friend. I just try to sometimes mediate. I've been chastising myself for sometimes getting too involved, but here.
I think they're faking it for views, etc.
Still love everybody here.
If that's the case, I'm glad. I hope that's what it is, okay? But to me, it seems like it's real.
But I don't plan on wearing no type of orange when I get out.
It appears to me that these are grown men live streaming from prison. Think about the potential of how wrong this could go. This is facilitating kids talking to strangers. I understand we can't always prevent it, but we don't want to facilitate it, right? Even I tried to sort of justify or like defend TikTok in my own mind. At first, I was like, okay, this is an app.
I appreciate that very much. We these people. Thank you. Never necessary, but always appreciated. Just welcome to the channel, and I will keep going. No one can stop me, no matter the toxicity. So thank you.
App. It's not a person. They can't possibly control or even know what people are doing in a live video. And then one day I see again people live streaming from prison, and I see this little disclaimer at the bottom of my screen. Consuming substances featured in this live video could harm your health. All right, TikTok. So you can recognize substances that personally I didn't even see in that video, but you can't recognize a child, a living, breathing human child speaking words. Some people like watching this happen speak up and say something. Why are you streaming with little kids, etc.? But then everyone just moved on and was like, hey, how can I put money on your books? Y'all trying to be in love after lockup? And I'm just, why is nobody talking about this or doing anything? This is not right to me. And again, I'm not trying to just harp on anybody who's in prison. It is absolutely not limited to just people in prison. I didn't have to search at all to find grown adult after grown adult after grown adult bringing children into their live video. Right here again, this lady brings on a 13-year-old boy.
Hi. How old are you? I'm 13.
A few nights ago, this lady brings this child on.
And I just want you to know you're very pretty. Thank you.
That kid was smart enough to not show his face. But my gosh, not every little innocent child can rationalize something like that. These kids want to join the live because they think it's fun. They're not always capable of seeing the bigger picture and realizing how dangerous that is. It's the adult's responsibility to not bring kids into their live video and have these weird, inappropriate interactions in front of hundreds of people watching and commenting whatever they want. Just think about it like this. A child joining a strange man or woman's live video is literally talking to strangers, which is what we train kids not to do, with the added weirdness of that said adult audience watching it all happen and commenting whatever they want. Also, seeing these kids and watching them in their own homes and bedrooms. You can't edit live videos to shield kids from things they shouldn't see. You can't filter out comments. The most you can do, that I've seen at least, is you can get a mod or a moderator, and half the time when someone is like, hey, will you moderate for me, and like block people who are saying things I don't want them to say, half the time moderators are children. Again, right here we have a grown.
This is the most disturbing one. I understand she has to be so careful given the platforms that she uses. Remember, guys, when we are trying to speak about real serious shit, topics, sensitive material, these mainstream platforms, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, I mean, name it, right? Everything except X, I think. It's just not easy to talk about these things. They don't make it easy for them to be able to stick around and last, be seen and heard. So check this one out. This one's cringy.
An adult talking to what appeared to me to be two underage girls. I don't exactly know how old they are, but he's sitting there talking about his love life and his relationships with a 16-year-old girl.
They can't forgive me because I don't deserve forgiveness. I can't be forgiven.
Why?
Because what I did.
I don't want to get super dark and like get all in.
See, so that was a grown-ass older man telling two possibly 16-year-old girls about how he failed at his last relationship. And she's about to go ahead and speculate on how wrong that can end up. Think about that.
Into speculating what could happen, but if you use your common sense, you think about how impressive.
Yo, what's up, brother man? It is good to see you. I'm actually kind of scared to say your name given all the crap you've been through, but I'm glad to see you.
Impressionable children are, even just through DMs or text, reading text from somebody. Imagine how much more manipulative a grown adult could be with their facial expressions and tone of voice. This is a recipe for disaster. That there is straight up explicit content allowed live, real time on TikTok with zero safeguards in place for children who are the primary users of this app. I've seen people go live just to twerk. The kids are in the room reading the comments as
mother and daughter. By the way, if it can it get much more cringy? I mean, again, this is just a sliver of the iceberg, so to speak. The stuff on TikTok, it's no holds barred. It's the purge gone wild in terms of content. And I mean, is it too simple to simply say parents do better, or is it time that we say, hey, massive company that gets all this money, can you please also do better? Or how about we all try to do better? Maybe that's the easiest way.
As they come in. Explicit comments. TikTok could possibly have some sort of safeguard in place that the other apps have. Maybe this little bitty girl wouldn't have had to have been exposed to these grown men's explicit comments, despite the fact that her mom doesn't seem to care. If someone who works for TikTok happens to see this, please do better. Love you.
So that I wanted to show just because I know a few of you have kids and you maybe are not quite aware of just how insane or how dangerous these very platforms are. So there is, I think, one more thing I wanted to show. So bear with me as I go through the Facebooks. And I had nothing, so I'm going to check it. This might be a ridiculous one, by the way. Like just a kind of a stuck in the middle style, like, hey, look at this ridiculous clip. Oh, here's something that I think I want to show. It's just that kind of thing that I can never say no to. Yeah, I go full turf. I know. Okay, let's see how humorous this is. I love this stuff. I can't get enough.
Go to a show called Coco Melon. I wasn't familiar with this program, but apparently it's the most popular show for toddlers, and it's never too early to ramp up the LGBTQIA plus indoctrination.
Thing that we know about you. You love to get up.
All right, so allow me to propose the question. I'm going to put the chat down for a moment. Look, I sure will. All right, you got it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on though. So I'd like an honest answer. I don't care if it doesn't align with mine. So this is clearly two gay men that are teaching this animated young child boy to be whatever he wants to be. And let's listen in on the message here, the real message.
Dance. How about you break out those moves for your two biggest fans?
Oh, okay. I somehow I missed that one earlier. Didn't see the tutu. Okay, now it's like what?
If you're not sure what to choose, think about all the things you like.
If you're not sure what to choose, just go with the peer pressure by the mainstream media. That was a terrible, terrible rendition, but the DNC makes all the rules. We're gonna force you to accept.
Like to do. Just be you.
Just be me?
Yep. When you're trying to decide, think about all the things you like to do.
Including jumping in a dress and going to a drag show. Somebody put me out of my misery.
Just be you.
Just be me?
I'd even argue, like, if it was just two gay guys just, kind of telling the child to be happy, but straight up, the kids getting in dresses. Okay. Are we indoctrinating at this point? Is it really healthy to expose a young, malleable brain that's hardly developed to that kind of material? I guess that goes back to the issue of the falsely titled Don't Say Gay bill that has nothing to do with not saying gay in the classroom. It's just, hey, there's no need to talk about sexual acts in front of children at school. That's what that bill's about. So, yeah. All right. Well,
I am so sorry you had to watch that. I feel bad for doing that to you, but my God, what is wrong with people who produce this content? That's what you want to show toddlers? Now to an indoctrinator from Illinois obsessed with gender, telling other teachers to be more obsessed with gender too. And as you watch this, just consider the fact that he is a elementary school teacher. We're talking about little kids here.
Teachers, make your classroom LGBTQ plus inclusive from the very first day. But this one's all about like classroom practice. Are you lying?
These are not the most pressing issues of our country right now. We're on the precipice of World War III. Okay, we have a man that has earned his place on the ballot, that is being removed from as far as we can tell, with the Supreme Court involved, and all because side A doesn't like the guy. We have sex trafficking. There are so many huge issues. It is almost redundant and pointless. The border situation, what I brought up about what I learned in New York, that they're now asking a bus company to be accountable for how many migrants that they drive there and drop off. We need to close the border. Is that a radical suggestion? But in this teacher's mind right now, for children to learn at their earliest in school is to, hey, everybody, let's get LGBTQIA plus GQ LMNOP SpongeBob SquarePants friendly and have a sit down, oh kumbaya. By the way, check out the books that talk about how to give a blowjob when you're like 14, 13. We have those available. Are you serious? This is the priority. No, I refuse to agree or believe that this is helpful at all. What is it? Are you lining up your students into boy and girl lines? Okay.
Lining up your students into boy and girl lines. Remember, when you do that, if a kid doesn't particularly identify strongly with either of those, it makes them have to kind of choose something that isn't
Pit bulls. I have two very, very close friends that have done just that. One of them living in Ohio. All I remember is that there's Amish people there. um, yeah, his son at 13, 14 years old was telling one of my best friends all the things he was experiencing in his class, and one of my best friends, as a father, took him right out of there, and he's thriving now. Thriving.
true to them. So find other ways to line up or group your kids. It could be by their student numbers, it could be by their birthday months.
What if I don't identify with my birthday month? What if my birth certificate says I'm a Pisces, but I feel like a Leo? Partially stupid. Now let's talk about another indoctrinator here. We could just have a whole show devoted to this dude, actually. This is Jeffrey Marsh. Take it away.
Going no contact will feel worse. Can't lie to you. Because right where you are now, if you go no contact with a family member, you'll feel worse. Right where you are now, where the relationship is now, is in equilibrium. They get to do whatever the heck they want, and you deal with it. That's not pleasant, but that is a deal. That is a pact, and both of you understand the rules. If you go no contact, the rules change. You're unmoored. There's no sense of safety and sense of place. Because the rules change, you change.
Does anybody know what the fuck he's talking about? What is no contact? Non-binary T. Okay. All right.
But the rules and the dynamic changes, and what comes in sometimes to flood that void is guilt. But eventually, the guilt subsides. You work through it. You're kind to yourself. And on the other side of the no contact guilt scenario is peace. That has nothing to do with the deal you're in now with that person.
Now let's check in with the Queers for Palestine movement, or Chickens for KFC.
So why was it important for you to come?
Palestine? Okay. I know things are really hypersensitive right now, and I'm all kinds of conflicted about, what I speak about, but pretty sure the the Muslim religion and belief and Palestine in general is not the safest place to go around with LGBTQIA plus elemental P123 Patrick Starr politics. Yeah, I don't think Pakistan's gonna really. I don't know. Maybe they got their priorities straight and they know that they're in a massive conflict, but this is insane.
Come to the protest today? I came with Queers for Palestine. I'm a trans, non-binary person. I believe we're not free until everyone's free. Queer liberation.
Has this individual not, like, she can't be that young. She can't be that young. Has she seen seen the videos and the pictures of what they've done to gay men? With a rope and a high up. Oh, this can't be in is it? I don't know where we are. That doesn't look like Palestine. So, okay, makes more sense from the safety of your European home, and you can organize this. This is a pipe dream. This is the westernized version of this protest, because it ain't gonna last over there.
Queer people live in Palestine. There's pink washing going on, and people are trying to tell queer people that they can't be part of what's going on in Palestine. And I just want to be here for queer Palestinians and for every Palestinians, because what's happening is just.
Oh, love. If you weren't so utterly ignorant and self-involved, you'd understand why people are mocking your movement, even those who are pro-Palestinian. Where were you when queer people in Palestine were fleeing to Israel to avoid brutal persecution? If you don't understand that radical Islam has zero tolerance for your lifestyle, then Frankly, you're too dumb to be part of any discussion, but that hasn't stopped Queers for Palestine shutting down Manhattan Bridge.
KKK, IDF, you're all the same. NYPD, KKK, IDF, you're all the same. NYPD, KKK, IDF, you're all the same.
Now to one of the richest athletes in the world, the race hoaxing Chinese Communist Party loving NBA star LeBron James. Let's see how much respect he has for America and the anthem.
What's so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam. Truth brought.
Come on, man, a little fucking gratitude. I don't know what you think you're trying to accomplish here. Honest to goodness, man. You've had your own talent, but in this country, it has put you up there in the 1%, and you're really going to sit your ass down like that, you punk. You complete punk.
Our strength and bright stars through the perilous sky.
My intention is not to get depressed when I see my content like that. I used to be unbothered by that kind of behavior. Man, the evolution.
Is standing, many with hands on their hearts. He's strolling
Oh,
in.
let's not talk about furries. If you want to, I'll respect that. And somewhere down the line, we'll have a big old hash out about furries, but they scare the crap out of me. And there's a whole new batch where they take it even more serious because they're not just putting on the costume, they actually try to embody the physical characteristics and live like an animal more than being a human. I actually covered that recently.
Casually and taking a seat during the anthem. Pathetic. I bet he'd stand up for the Chinese national anthem. Now, let's go to Noah Tishby, one of the friends of this program, who is a warrior for Israel. And though she's off the left, she's what I like to call an old school lefty. They're still sensible. They can see the toxic modern woke left.
Okay, I'm intrigued because I haven't seen anything on the left that has made me miss it for a few years now.
And she's happy to call them out. Here she is at Berkeley telling a lefty losing it that he's actually a Zionist. That shut him up.
Did you know that only 31% of Israelis actually define themselves as of Eastern European descent, and all the rest are actually Middle Eastern descent. You're talking about the indigenousness of Israel. Do you understand that when you're saying Jews are white? Have you been to Israel?
You people don't have respect.
It's not you people. Don't discriminate. I'm a person. My name is Noah. It's not you people. Wait a second. Have you been to Israel?
No.
Okay, great, awesome. So when you go to Israel, I get it. Do you believe? But do you believe that the Jews have a right for self-determination as a state in a state?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. You do believe that Israel has the right to exist?
Of course.
Great, then you are a Zionist. Welcome. Sorry. Don't be angry. It's true.
Okay, I did appreciate the strategy. And the way she took charge. She owned it. She defeated the talking points. The guy was trying to make circles and somehow get the best of both worlds. Now, sometimes you do have to kind of maintain a side to some degree.
That's completely true. He's a Zionist. And there are so many people who are mouthing off about Zionism and Zionists. They don't even know what the definition of the word is. I suggest you look it up because you might find you're a Zionist as well. I'm a Zionist, proudly. Now let's go to Germany, where the climate cultists took out their rage on a Christmas tree. What?
All right, I'm gonna call out some hypocrisy right quick. Guaranteed, if we were looking at Menorah or the Star of David, anything to that effect, and that this was being done to that, there would be massive public outcry. I'd be up in arms. So when I see this, I can't say I don't understand any Catholic or Christians' outrage at this. And why is this even a thing? What are they trying to say? No, it's for kids, you assholes.
Yes, that tree was clearly asking for it. I'm sure the planet is saved now. We've not only seen an unprecedented attack against
Justin, I would really appreciate a phone call. There's no link tonight. I'd like to speak to you. I've sent you some messages. You blocked me on Facebook. So, I miss you. I hope all is well. There's no link going up tonight, man. But I would really love to talk to you.
the frontrunner for the 2024 presidential election. We've seen the weaponization of institutions from the justice system to intelligence agencies. We've seen a sinister attack against free speech and democracy. And we've seen it from these people. This is what the kids call projection.
What would a second Donald Trump term look like?
Well, he cannot be the next president because if he is,
you can't imagine.
Were they shooting for the irony of her looking like Hillary Clinton?
The things that he's going to do. Mexico, Canada. We can't go to Canada because eventually Canada will become annexed to America.
And shoot visitors to the White House. Yeah, that means he can shoot the First Lady.
We're going to see violence, the likes of which we didn't even see on January 6th.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
He will make himself into the Fuhrer, and he will make...
Is that his old attorney, Cohen, Michael Cohen?
Everybody raise their hand and salute him.
Using martial law against the American people.
Terminate the Constitution. To rewrite the Constitution.
I'm glad to see that the good old mainstream media here in our country, our beloved country, hasn't turned down the fear-mongering one bit.
Create mass internment camps. Throw everyone into...
Oh my God, not even if you vote, if you want to vote for Donald Trump, your next firstborn will have a curse and your hand will turn into a foot. You'll go partially blind in your third eye and your testicles will fall off. Jesus, turn it on thicker, please.
Might be sent to jail or their rights might be suppressed, especially minority groups in society.
You might have any number of things happen to you and your family.
Every one of us, our freedom, our liberty, none of us is safe. It's going to have people around him executed.
Look at all of these different stations and oh my God, I know the exact people. This pisses me off. I know the exact people that believe it because they want to believe it. And every time I've tried to have a rational conversation with people that I love or people that I respect, and they have drawn their line in the sand, they don't want to have a real conversation. Thus, there's no progress. They don't want the progress. They just want him gone, and that's it. And that's a problem because we're not dealing with substance anymore. We're dealing with tribalism.
Against an enemy's list.
Assassinate generals.
Ordering troops to attack American citizens.
God.
Talk about weapons.
They just said troops. Donald Trump would get troops to attack citizens. What breaks my heart is that I think some of these idiots in the mainstream actually perhaps have been recited so much bullshit that they actually think they're speaking some truth, which is alarming as all hell.
Great projection. Thanks to Tom Elliott for that compilation. Follow him on X. That compilation goes for a lot longer than what I've just showed you. Now, Hunter Biden, his woes continue to grow.
Yeah, what about that guy? The crack smoking, leveraging, bribing. Where's that investigation that just got approved to open up in impeaching Biden? Even though that would help the Democrats and the DNC right now with the upcoming election. Oh, that would be their dream would be to have Biden impeached because they know we have zero expectations and or hope for him, and getting Trump illegally out of the way. That would just leave it for them, again, full control.
Last Wednesday refused to sit for a closed-door questioning by Republican lawmakers who are looking into his dodgy business dealings. He did make a defiant statement, though.
I'm here today to answer at a public hearing any legitimate questions Chairman Comer and the House Oversight Committee may have for me. I'm here today to make sure that the House Committee's illegitimate investigations of my family do not proceed on distortions, manipulated evidence, and lies.
Justin, my friend, you've seen me go through a lot of this kind of crap, right? It's cause and effect, and it's action and reaction. And anything he views as a provocation, he will make content out of it. I think I offered some advice, which is, hey, what I try not to do and fail sometimes. Don't respond. But our last message where you blocked me, I'm a little mixed up, man. Like, I'm gonna love you forever, like a brother, bro. But you literally said to me, Eli, I wouldn't go on that channel again. A lot of people are upset, and that, what am I supposed to do with that? And then you blocked me when I started to type back, man. I would really appreciate a private conversation. It doesn't have to be like this.
I'm not sure, but I think something was done with that footage. But I mean, who can be sure about these things? Now let's go to another teacher obsessed with their own gender identity, talking about a student giving her gender euphoria. Ew.
I'm a non-binary middle school special education teacher, and only my two paraprofessionals know that I'm non-binary, because that's not like a conversation I want to have with parents and admin right now. Anyway, one of my students said that I was a beautiful king the other day, and that was just so affirming. It gave me the gender euphoria. Have a good day.
When you try.
Gender euphoria? Slay King? What the Okay. With that, I have a nonsensical video. This is just, what the hell are we watching? And as a result, you're welcome. Without further ado, for the last time, behold, this is what it takes to get recognized on the internet. Apparently, this was published in 2017, so, woo, throwback. Viewed over 2.4 million times. This, well, I'm thoroughly confused. I find it somewhat less confusing than the LGBTQIA and all that stuff. But, yeah, okay. Anyway, it's been an interesting live. Oh goodness. Sorry, C-Fouls. Look, remember, to anybody that is currently here, all right, I'm not trying to get in the middle of anything, by God. I'm in the middle of enough. And look, I'm in a good place right now. I got a good head on my shoulders. I've got, 14 days of no alcohol, and I like this. I want to keep this, and I came back. Yeah, no, I didn't wait for 2 months. I damn well within my right, changed my mind. Came back. I missed you guys. I've missed this. This means a lot. And this helps me, stay on the path, so to speak. But for this, like, I see an icon with, look, C-Fouls is my friend. And because of that, I'd rather say, please take your money back. Please don't wear anybody's face like an icon. I find that to be kind of a bullying thing to do. I'm familiar with different strategies, means of harassment, and all that. Just please keep that out of here. I've offered the platform. I'm pretty sure I know who that is right there. You know I have offered you in the past, and I know we don't talk often. We don't talk. I'm not involved, but I know some things. If you really want to speak your piece, just that you let me know. You reach me at your leisure, but please don't bring it here. We're not going to rehash it. It takes up time, and as you can see, my eye is on some larger prizes when it comes to what's going on in our world, because I'm terrified of the future, and I've never found myself so terrified of just that, of the unknown, of what is to come. So please, just all I can ask is here, try and treat each other with respect, and that's that. With that being said, though, this has been a live that has lasted. We did the Progressive Patriot Hour. You want to? Okay. How many of yous are there? Look, 44. No, I'm sorry. Progressive Patriot 44 at gmail.com. If you really want to go ahead and reach me, if you want to privately communicate about what you want to say, because more than anything, I'd like to see, I don't know, everybody get back to what's important in their own lives, which is just that, and then some. Patriot 44 at gmail.com. Sorry, I left that part out. At Gmail. So, just in case, I do still get lots of emails, and I'm thankful for that. To everybody that tries to get topics or something my way that you find interesting, please continue to do so. We're in this together. And all right, much love, much respect. Have a good night. Take care.